Hey everyone. Amit, we have talked a lot about how the future is going to hold and what e-commerce would like, what businesses are going to have to bear in mind, and what type of changes are coming up. And decentralization is one of the most important one. And with decentralization comes interaction with different entities, different inside as well as outside the organization. And so it comes to the question of partnerships now. What is the future of partnerships and how partnerships would look like?
Yeah, I think, ultimately, there are two kinds of relationships you can easily observe, right, in the business world. The one is the customer relationship, right? The vendor-customer relationship. And that's always transactional, for the most part. And, you can have a number of them. Some of these will turn into strategic relationships. And they're strategic because it's not only the immediate monetization that is on the cards, but something more than what is immediately obvious, right? Where the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, where 1 + 1 is 11. And so how to do that, how to leverage work that others have done already and that you don't have to do again. If that's a basic philosophy of life, of business life, which is why do something that is already done? Why not do only things that aren't being done anywhere else and use the existing, services or whatever that are doing that thing that's already being done, just to use them, right? So just sit on top of existing services and add value to whatever is already out there. Right. So this is a way in which if two people think, they can either be customer vendor with each other or they can be strategic partners with each other.
Right? that makes sense. That makes sense.
So if you have a joint offering which adds both the pieces to it and also promises to unlock that extra thing which isn't there right now, but would be there if they were to come together, that offering where both people win when a sale happens, and if you now have this awake co-selling system, then everyone's winning. You have more things to win with and more value that is created because of this type of layering and stacking of value.
And if we go deep into the types of partnerships, you can go for channel partnerships, and you can even go for tech partnerships as well. And according to me, in my opinion, the combination of both would provide a value which will create a situation which is win-win for all. But if we see it from let's say from a newcomer's perspective, a person who's a company who's just coming up, and they have to either give weightage to one more than the other. Like the situation is like that, they're new. So what would be your take on these like channel partnerships and tech partnerships, how they will unfold, and what, like, it will of course depend on the phase where the company is, but still there would be some weightage.
I think channel partnerships are generally sales partnerships, right? They're a way to drive more distribution and make money with someone else together, right? To leverage their distribution. They become a channel for you. That's why you call them a channel partner. I think those are obviously easier and more should be done first, right? I would say before you even do anything, build product or technology or whatever, what if we can just create the market that was going to buy from you before you build your first product, because you've identified the market network where these solutions are going to be appreciated and so on. Right. So if you were to build the channel partnerships first, then you have a jump start on building the business.
Exactly. So, but traditionally it's almost done the other way. you create your value first, and then you look for the market, or then you look for where the value will come in. But this is a really good way to look at business, or to start business, that you set up your market, you create your demand first, and that way the value or the product that you're creating will also be more appropriate, more targeted towards the actual problem statement.
Because we have to go back to the definition of value, which is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Not in the eye of the one who offers it.
Offers it, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So the seller always says there's value, right? Seller has no, what is the seller going to say? No value, right? Seller always says there's value, right? That is not real value. Real value is in the eye of the beholder, which means the buyer or the demand side is the only one that can really define value for them, for themselves.
Yeah.
And then you have to satisfy that demand on the other side. So why not go directly to the way things are? Because ultimately you create something, then you get feedback, then you change it.
Right? Yeah.
So why not start from...
Traditionally this is what happens, but if we can have a system, have partnerships, create a system in a way that you get the pinpointed requirement, then
now just to be clear, this doesn't mean this does not mean that you don't know what you're going to make, or that you're waiting for requirements from your customers or any of that. It doesn't mean that. What it means is you come up with the concept of value, right? And sell the concept. If the concept itself doesn't sell, why you think the product will sell? Right. And if you cannot sell the concept enough so that you can get channel partners involved, then how are you going to scale when you build it?
You're just creating a lot of problems for future.
So directly address the biggest part of the business, which is always the selling part. Without selling, there's no business. Everything else is a hobby. So start with the selling portion, which is the only part about business. That is business. The rest is not the business part. That's everyone can do that.
So the technological partnerships or those type of advantages will come later when you are actually delivering your value, or when you are in a phase, phase of improvement.
And we're being a little bit extreme. Obviously, you will do all things pretty much at the same time, because it's a concurrent universe, right? It's a chaotic system. No one's like sitting and sequentially doing anything. Everything is happening all at once. So appropriately, you start doing all these things. But logically is what we're talking about, right? And yes, those tech partnerships and all other tangible working partnerships will, drive the ability to do more with less, right? It's okay if you can imagine a world where you make less money in every single transaction, but you make a lot more transactions. Right? I mean, again and again, people get stuck on this idea of margin. How much am I going to have margin and all these things? But that's just the beginning, right? Like that margin is a question of how much you made in one transaction. Not how much dollars you made at the end of the day.
So the parameters need also be focused on differently. Different parameters needs to be taken into account when you are actually judging the situation where you are and how you're progressing as a business.
Absolutely. So this entire integrated network, once you've created it, becomes effectively what we call awake, which is aware of itself. It knows what is happening, Otherwise, it's not conscious.
Right? And it will become difficult. It will really become difficult if you're not awake and if you're not conscious enough who is contributing what. You're not able to keep track of each and everything, and you lose track of sight, you lose track of your clarity on your business.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much for a wonderful take on partnerships. I know as and when more businesses and how we are progressing, this is something with decentralization. Partnership is something that everybody has to have a look on. Thanks so much.
Yeah, totally.